So welcome to today's Greater Life CoffeeCast. And with today's focus being the pillar of happiness, today's word in the traditional style of Sesame Street, if ever you remember. Didn't Sesame Street used to be brought to you by certain words and numbers? And so today's CoffeeCast on happiness is brought to you by the word luxuriate. Luxuriate. And one of the things that I studied over the years is the 4 archetypes drawn from the work of Carl Jung and popularized in a book, King, Warrior, Lover, Magician, and by George Gillette and Robert Moore. And the archetype of the lover is all about being able to find delight in life, and about being able to feel our feelings and ultimately to connect with the bliss and oneness of whatever you understand the divinity to be. And so, of course, luxuriate then it clearly is squarely in the archetypal realm of the lover. And on some level, you could say that the lover is the capacity to luxuriate is what makes life worth living. Now, of course, there are many spiritual traditions that eschew luxuriating, that are more ascetic in their way of approaching life and believe that, a low, hard bed and minimal comforts are the way to come closer to God. And of course, there are others who believe that, quite the opposite in fact, that all things are divine, and therefore the more that we fill ourselves up with experiences of joy, bliss, luxury, then equally we are experiencing the divine through us. And what I do recognise is that when we come to our conversation of happiness, to give ourselves permission at times to luxuriate is a fast track to gratitude. And in this CoffeeCast series and in the articles that accompany it with our daily newsletter, we have covered the topic of gratitude from a number of angles, but very often recognising that gratitude is a fast track to happiness, to joy. And so a few examples from my own life. My partner bought me some fresh bed sheets, duvet and some brushed cotton, like jersey cotton and brushed cotton sheets. And, it's such a wonderful feeling to snuggle into these bed sheets. Like previously, the sheets I had were quite comfy, but there's something just, it's so nice. So every now and then I will allow myself just to luxuriate, as now. It's up past 7:30 when I'm recording this in the morning, and I am still luxuriating in bed. And usually I'm up around 5:30, 6. But last night it was like someone took the batteries out, so I just am allowing myself to deeply rest and luxuriate this morning for a little longer, just to allow my body to really come to life. And but as I say that, I recognise also one of the ways I've been also luxuriating is in the sea, allowing my body to really celebrate the coldness of the water and the refreshing coolness from a hot day. And so there's something almost equally powerful as I luxuriate in warm, cosy bed sheets, to also luxuriate in cool, refreshing waters. And those who know me well will know I'm not averse to a bit of a sweet tooth, and so I would very often eat a lot of chocolate halva, which is essentially honey, sesame seeds, and cocoa all mixed together. But it was becoming quite costly, so I've developed my own recipe, and this is definitely another area where I allow myself to luxuriate, because my own recipe of chocolate halva will typically be cocoa, honey, sesame seeds, maybe some oats thrown in there, and some almond butter, maybe a bit of coconut oil. And ultimately, nutritionally, quite a dense nutritional little hit, but one that is also very tasty. So with a cup of tea, I will allow myself to enjoy a piece of halva. And then finally, my partner and I have got a lovely little ritual with cocoa and a mushroom powder blend. And when we are together in the evenings, we will very often luxuriate on the sofa with a really rich cup of hot chocolate infused with mushroom powder. And my partner says that helps her like memory, and for me it's just a wonderful, delicious kind of experience to allow myself to wind down from the day with this kind of rich, velvety smooth hot chocolate. And so as I share all of those examples, they are ways in which I am giving myself permission to experience the beauty and deliciousness of life. And as a result, to be more grateful for the fact that I get to exist and to have more joy and happiness in my life. And so, where are you at with the notion of luxuriating? Because in the newsletter article today that I publish alongside this CoffeeCast, I shared how my exercise routine, or my experience of exercise, my health and vitality, have been absolutely transformed by focusing on doing initially just things that are active, that I love. And that in so doing, in the course of 2 weeks, I've developed a really strong sea swimming and boulder hopping and general kind of just fitness routine that is such a source of joy. And both of these elements, the luxuriating and the kind of exercise that I'm now doing, actually stem from me giving myself permission. In the case of the exercise, giving myself permission to let go of needing to exercise initially, let go of needing to develop my cardiovascular fitness or any of that, and just giving myself permission to explore and experience and embody wild play. And similarly with luxuriating, to give myself permission to enjoy a moment of really celebrating the fact that, wow, I get these bed sheets, they're so comfy. Wow, I get to enjoy this halva. Wow, I get to drink this cocoa, right? To give myself permission to experience those wow moments. How are you with that? And I ask because for so many years, my default mode was not celebration and giving myself permission to experience joy. I thought the way that to progress in life was to beat myself and beat myself harder. And as a result, I was just pretty miserable a lot of the time. Filled with self-loathing because I felt like I was never doing enough. And the strange thing is that in giving myself permission to experience joy in these small ways, my lust for life, my vitality, my desire, my drive has skyrocketed, as has my energy levels and my capacity to focus. And therefore, of course, I'm getting more done. So, how are you with giving yourself permission, with allowing yourself to experience joy, whether that be through play, through luxuriating, through cultivating flow states, through sharing wonderful, deep conversations with people you love or new friends? Because as my exercise routine proves, that in the space of 2 weeks, I have totally transformed my body's appearance and my vitality and my associations with exercise have been totally transformed in just the space of 2 weeks. And this really, for me, proves the principle, one of the principles that Greater Life was founded on, which is that happiness is a mission-critical strategic objective. A mission-critical strategic investment, I should say, whereby for all of your pillars, health, home and hustle, the more that you invest happiness into those areas, the more those pillars are going to be elevated. So today, how can you give yourself permission to experience happiness, knowing that everything you do will be elevated as a result? All right.